HFY Sci-Fi story, they thought humans were myths until their armada appeared. For thousands of years, they believed humans were just a story, a ghost race, bedtime tale told to scare alien children. Long ago, they said, there was a powerful species called humans, but they disappeared in fire and silence. Captain Vrel of the Zarnathi Science Fleet had never believed in myths. She believed in facts, in data, in proof. That proof came when her crew picked up a strange signal. It was old, very old, over 10,000 years old. And yet it was still active? Location? She asked. Dead system. Sector 9 Gamma, replied her second officer. No signs of life. Just one planet with ruins. Captain Vrel stared. At the screen, something in her chest felt ... strange. Not fear, not excitement. Something deeper, curiosity. Prepare the landing craft, she ordered. The science vessel descended through the cold, dusty skies of the forgotten planet. Below them stretched a ruined city, towers broken, roads cracked, machines rusted in. Place. Time had turned steel into dust. They wore suits, of course. The air was toxic. The ground was dead. This city is huge, said one crew member. Advanced architecture.
Stronger than anything we've seen.
Another found old statue stall, proud figures with flat faces and sharp eyes. Humans, whispered Vrel. This was real. In the center of the city, they found a chamber. Inside it was a black device, still glowing. It pulsed. Like a heartbeat. Careful, Vrel warned. Don't touch it yet. But curiosity was stronger than caution. One young crew member stepped forward and placed a hand on the device. It lit up. The ground shook. A voice echoed through the chamber. Cold, robotic, human. Humanity is watching. Then silence. No one moved. No one spoke. Then the device sent out a signal, a strong pulse, blasting through space. Every scanner on the ship went wild. What did you do? Vrel shouted. I don't know. I just touched it. The device shut off. The signal did not. Far away, on the other side of the galaxy, something heard it. Something ancient. Something waiting. Back on the Zarnathi ship, panic spread. Command is calling, said the comms officer. They say, we activated a Class Omega relic, Captain Vrel replied. What's Class Omega? The officer looked pale. Myth-level technology, forbidden systems, mostly human origin. A new report came in. Ma'am, our satellites are detecting movement? Near the old Terran sector? Movement? A ship. A big one. Unknown design. Heading toward us. 2 days later it arrived, black, silent, larger than any ship Vrel had ever seen. It didn't reply to hails. It didn't fire. It just floated there. Like a ghost reborn. Then it scanned them. The lights flickered. The crew froze. A message appeared on the screen. Armada en route. Prepare or surrender. Panic broke out. What armada? There are no humans left. Vrel wasn't so sure anymore. She stared at the screen and back at the silent ship. Maybe the myths were true. Maybe humans were never gone. Maybe they were just HFY Sci-Fi story. They thought humans were myths until their armada appeared. The black ship didn't speak again. It just floated, cold and silent, above the ruined planet. Captain Vrel couldn't sleep. None of her crew could. The words kept replaying in their minds. Armada en route. What? Prepare or surrender. But there was no known human fleet. Humans were history eschees in forgotten time. So what was coming? The Zarnathi homeworld? Chaos had begun. The High Council gathered in. Panic. Ancient texts were opened. Old warnings were read aloud. Thousands of years ago. The humans disappeared after a war that shook galaxies, said the elder historian. But their technology, their intelligence, was never matched. They built a Ys that could destroy. Stars. Ships that moved without fuel. Weapons that needed no pilots. And now, he added, voice shaking, something has awakened. Back on the science vessel, strange things started happening. First, the ship's main computer stopped responding. Then navigation reset itself. Finally, a low hum began from every screen, like a whisper under the surface. The message returned. This time, wasn't just text. It was a face. A human woman with glowing eyes. Her voice calm and strong. You entered forbidden space. You touched what was meant to remain silent. Varel stepped forward. We didn't mean harm, we didn't know. The woman's image tilted her head. Almost curious. You woke us. Suddenly, across hundreds of star systems, things started to stir. Satellites that had drifted for millennia powered on. Long-dead beacons blinked to life. Outposts, hidden inside black holes, activated shields. A network ancient, invisible, and massive was coming alive. Every empire noticed. But no one could understand what it meant, except one thing. Something was moving in deep space. It was coming fast. Back in the ship's lab, one crew member screamed, "Captain, the human relic." Changing, they ran back to the chamber. The black device they found in the ruins was now floating. It's glowing, shifting its shape. Then it spoke, not through speakers, but directly into their minds. We are the Watchers. You lit the fire. The stars will now remember. The crew collapsed. From the mental pressure, some passed out. Others cried. A few bled from the nose. Only Captain Vrel remained standing. She whispered, "What? What are you?" And then the relic replied with a word no one expected. Home. The crew fled. The planet, the black ship, did not follow. But its signal spread through space like a virus. One by one, old human systems woke up. Orbiting stations, solar gates, massive war constructs, all beginning to move. The galaxy had not seen human life in 10,000 years. Now, the machines of humanity were waking up before the species even arrived. A single new transmission played. Across every star system, this is Admiral Reyna Steele of the Terran Vanguard. All sentient species are advised. Humanity has returned. This time, we are watching first. HFY Sci-Fi story, they thought humans were myths until their armada appeared. The message was heard across the stars. This is Admiral Reyna Steele of the Terran Vanguard. Humanity has returned. Every major alien empire froze. On the trade worlds, businesses shut down. In the Draxian war halls, generals shouted over each other. On the Zarnathi homeworld, the High Council entered emergency lockdown. They had all thought humans were myths, a long-lost race, a forgotten mistake. But now, ships were moving, human ships. And they weren't just returning, they were everywhere in the galactic core. The ruling empires held an emergency meeting. Representatives from 50 species gathered. Some were insect-like. Others had glowing skin. All of them were afraid. They vanished 10,000 years ago, said the Krell warlord. Let them remain shadows. No, hissed the Draxian admiral. They are real, they spoke. Are coming? But why are they coming? Asked the nervous envoy of Yil. For peace or for war? No one had answers. Then, a Zarnathi scientist showed live data. Look at this. Old human satellites. AI-controlled. They've reactivated across 12 star systems. She pointed to a map. All systems are aligning, forming a corridor through space. Like a path. A path to what? Someone asked. She looked up pale. Earth. The humans weren't hiding. Their technology was on display. Ships the size of cities, drones, moving faster than light, weapons that bent gravity, no demands were made, no messages were sent after the first warning, and still more ships arrived each day. First 10, then 50, then hundreds. The galaxy watched as the human armada returned from silence. Captain, Brell's ship was ordered to retreat. She protested. I've seen them. I've heard their voice. They are not angry, but they are powerful. They remember everything. Her warnings were ignored. But then came something worse. A second human ship appeared. This one was different, sleeker, darker, glowing with energy. It did not attack. Instead, it broadcasted live footage. Every species with a screen saw it. It was Earth, green, beautiful, rebuilt, larger than before. More advanced, alive. A city floated in orbit above the planet, towers of light, ships flying, in perfect harmony, and in the center. A symbol, the mark of humanity. Admiral Reyna Steele appeared again. This time, her eyes were calm, her voice stronger. We are not here to conquer, but we do not forget. The past has not been erased. We remember those who betrayed us, those who helped us, and those who hid. She stared into the camera like she was looking into every soul. We are coming through the stars, not for revenge, but for balance. Those who stand in our way will not stand for long. Across the galaxy, panic turned to fear. Some empires began building weapons. Some sent diplomats. A few started to pray, because now it was clear. Humanity was not dead. They were simply waiting, preparing, watching. And now, they were on the move again. HFY Sci-Fi story. They thought humans were myths until their armada appeared. They thought Earth was dead, burned, lost, broken after the Great Human War. But now, every screen in the galaxy showed the truth. Earth was alive, and more powerful than ever. Floating above the planet was a city in space. Massive towers made of glowing metal, ships coming and going silently, lights brighter than stars. And then she spoke again. Admiral Reyna Steele. She stood in a room filled with stars. Her uniform was black with silver lines and the Terran symbol. Shown on her chest, "This is not the Earth you remember," she said. "This is Terra Prime." The message was broadcasted across the galaxy. Her words were not full of hate. They were full of strength. We were betrayed, forgotten, hunted, but we survived. In the shadows, in the dark, in the silence of deep space. Now we return not to destroy, but to correct the balance. She paused. All we ask is this: do not stand in our way. Some species listened. Others didn't. A proud empire called the Tarlan Dominion sent a warning to Earth. They said they would shoot down any human ship that entered their territory. 3 human scout ships passed through too. Days later, the Tarlan fleet attacked. They lasted 26 seconds. No debris, no survivors. Just empty space and silence. The footage was shared by Earth. It wasn't a message of war. It was a reminder, Captain. Vrel watched it all from her command ship. She no longer feared humans. She respected them. What are they planning? Of her officers asked, Vrel replied, I think they are choosing. Choosing what? Who they'll forgive. In the outer systems, human drones began to repair old outposts. Giant machines shaped like spiders rebuilt cities in minutes. They didn't speak, they just worked. And above each restored structure, they placed one sign. The humans were not looking for a home, they were reclaiming it. Meanwhile, secret council formed in the shadows. Some alien leaders wanted to fight back. Others wanted to join Earth before it was too late. But one thing was clear. Humanity was not just returning. They were preparing to lead. HFY Sci-Fi story. They thought humans were myths until their armada appeared. The galaxy had a choice: submit or resist. Some empires called for peace. Others screamed for war. Fear spread like fire. And with fear came division. On the planet, Kaldor Prime, 20 alien empires met in secret. They formed a group called the Last Alliance, the Draxians, the Yil, the Krell, the Zarnothi, and many others gathered in a dark hall beneath the mountains. They made a plan: unite, build weapons, strike first before humanity takes control. But even as they signed the agreement, doubt was growing. They destroyed the Tarlan fleet in seconds, said the Krell general. Can we really stop them? We must try, hissed the Draxian. Admiral, if we don't, we'll all bow to Earth. Captain Vrel was also invited. She didn't sign. She stood before the leaders and said, You are afraid of ghosts, but I've seen them. They are not ghosts. They're gods now. After the meeting, One empire broke ranks the Krell. They secretly contacted Earth. They sent a private message to Admiral Reyna Steele. We wish to serve. In exchange, we want protection. The reply came instantly. One word, denied. Krell were erased the next day. No explosions. No war. Their planet went dark. Every ship, every satellite dash gone, only silence remained. The alliance began to fall apart. Some ran, some begged for talks. One empire, the Vishari, offered tribute technology. Slaves, ships.Earth, refused. We do not want your gifts. We want peace, but only if it is honest, said Admiral Steele in a broadcast. We remember everything, even the lies. And then it came, the full human armada, 3,000 ships, black, sharp, silent, moving like one mind, each one powered by AI, each one faster than light. They didn't fire, they didn't speak, they simply arrived and waited. Captain Vrel watched from her command deck, tears in her eyes. They gave us a chance, she whispered, and we threw it away. Number, one answered, because now it was too late. HFY Sci-Fi story. They thought humans were myths until their armada appeared. The human armada had arrived. 3,000 black warships standing still in space. No sound, no warning, just cold silence. The galaxy waited. Would they speak? Would they attack? Or were they giving one final chance? In the shadows of a broken moon, the alien alliance made a desperate decision. They would strike first. We have no other choice, said the Draxian admiral. If we do nothing, they will take everything. We target the smallest ship, said the Yield commander. Show them we are not weak. The order was given. 12 warships moved toward a single human vessel. It looked small compared to the rest. No weapons were seen. No shields were active. An easy target, they fired. All 12 alien ships launched at once. Lasers, missiles, plasma beams. Everything hit for 1 second. The human ship disappeared in a ball of fire. The Alliance cheered. But then the fire faded. The ship was still there, untouched, unharmed, silent, and then it moved. Just once, a flash of light. All 12 enemy ships vanished. No flames, no wreckage, just gone. Deleted from space, across the stars, fear turned into terror. We are not fighting ships, whispered one Zarnathi commander. We are fighting gods. Admiral Reyna Steele finally sent one last message. This was not our war. You made it one. We offered peace. We warned you. Out. And still you fired. First, her voice was calm. To calm, this is your last chance. Join us. Disappear like the rest. Some listened, some surrendered, but others still believed they could win. Captain Vrel, watching the stars from her ship, whispered, You fools. Don't you see? This isn't just war. This is justice. Out. And the armada moved forward. HFY Sci-Fi story. They thought humans were myths until their armada appeared. The galaxy had fallen silent. After the first strike, no one dared to move. Entire fleets disappeared in seconds. Planets surrendered without a fight. Empires collapsed under their own fear. And above it all, the human armada hovered dark, silent, and watching, on the edge of a dying star system. The last alien resistance stood ready. Hundreds of warships from different species, united by desperation. They knew they couldn't win, but they refused. Tennille, the leader of the Alliance, a tall insectoid named Rollin, shouted, If we fall with honor. Humanity cannot rule us. But humanity didn't need to fire. Their ships simply appeared, one by one, thousands surrounding the resistance fleet, blocking every escape, and then they opened a transmission. Admiral Reyna Steele's voice filled every channel. You call this resistance? We call it pride. We do not seek to rule, but we will not bow. This galaxy was built on our bones. Now it rises on our return. Then came the final choice. Join the Terran Accord or disappear from history. Half the fleet powered down, the others tried to run. They were gone. Before they could blink, no weapons fired, no warnings given, only silence and justice on the rebuilt Earth. Celebrations began, but there was no cheering in war rooms. No pride in destruction, only quiet and focus. Captain Vril was invited to Earth. She walked through shining cities filled with light, laughter, and peace. Human children played in parks.ai. Drones cleaned the streets. Music floated from the air. She met Admiral Steele in a garden of glass trees. "You could have taken everything," Vrel said. Steele nodded. "We could have. But that's not why we came back." "Then why?" The Admiral looked at the stars. "'Cause this time, we lead differently." And across the galaxy, a message was placed in every system. A message from Earth. We are humanity. We remember pain. We protect peace. We do. Not start wars, but we end them. The myths were wrong. Humans were never gone. They were just waiting. And now they had returned. Not as monsters, not as legends, but as kings.